everyone. Thanks so much for coming on and joining me today. Welcome to all those that followed me. And if you're watching this replay on YouTube, it originally aired during the week live on Periscope. So I'm going to flip my camera around now so I can chat with you guys better. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. Hey there, Laura. Let's see. I'm at a different angle today because my bed is unmade and it's a mess and there's laundry all over it. I won't hide it from you. Look there. Anyway, it's a mess. It's laundry day. So I wanted to come on real quick and share with you guys a couple of ways that you can flirt with your spouse. And I have actually Googled this. You know, maybe I can up my game a little bit, thinking other people may have some ideas that I haven't thought of. But you know what's so weird is whenever I Google things, I'm always highly disappointed at the lack of creativity. And also, people have just kind of categorized flirting as something completely different than what I think of as flirting. Because I've read a lot of articles that say, ways to flirt with your spouse. Basically, they're all foreplay moves. There's nothing wrong with foreplay moves, but that's not flirting, in my opinion. Flirting is something you do out in public. You kind of do it unknowingly. Maybe other people can see that you're flirting with each other, but I mean, this is not something that I think necessarily goes into the bedroom more than out in your house or out in public, or, you know, just flirting with your spouse so that it kind of gets you ready for later on to be intimate with each other and to just kind of keep that love going. Good morning. Thanks so much for coming on and joining me. So, some of the ways that I think when it comes to flirting, you got to know your spouse, because sometimes your spouse may try to flirt with you in a way that is off-putting to you. Somebody says, nothing goes into the bedroom when you're married. Nothing goes into the bed. Maybe you should rephrase. I don't know if I understood you completely. So what happens is that you've got to be real careful when you're flirting with your spouse. Kind of help them understand, I am flirting with you. Because I think sometimes maybe your spouse is trying to flirt with you and you kind of think of it as something different. Okay, so ladies, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. If your husband grabs your boobs or your butt, he is flirting with you. And I have talked with a lot of women who kind of feel of that as off-putting, like he only wants me for sex or whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's flirting with you. He is letting you know, I love you, I care about you, and if he is grabbing on you, it's because of that. Somebody says, especially if you've been married a long time, lots of assumptions. Yeah, and that's the thing about being married for a short time or a long time, okay? It doesn't matter how long you've been married, you've always got to re-clarify, because people change, and over time, you're going to change. And maybe you're going to adopt different philosophies. So this thing that your spouse used to do may used to have gotten on your nerves, but you actually have grown to love it. You got to let them know that. Or maybe you're more open to things now than you once were. So flirting has really developed a lot in my marriage because I understand my husband's flirting with me and he understands my flirting with him, and we do it differently, but we also try to do the thing for the other person that they consider to be flirting. So here are 5 things that you can do to try and flirt with your spouse, but definitely be clear with them. I am flirting with you. Hold on. So one of those ways is to touch them in some way. How do you guys figure out when you were flirting? Well, we just try to be actually really verbal about it, okay? So I have had conversations with my husband, and I say to him, when I do this thing, I'm flirting with you, you know? So I tend to look at him, give him a look, bat my eyes a little. I mean, that's kind of flirting. Or maybe I get really super giggly around him. So yeah, too many assumptions. You got to have a conversation. So what my husband and I do is we have a lot of conversations. And you might think that that takes some of the fun out of it, but we just have a conversation and say, what does flirting look like to you? What does flirting look like to you? And we actually talk about it, because if we don't, then we have no idea what the other person's actions are. Maybe we will misinterpret the other person's actions. So have a conversation. I know that it may sound silly that you have to talk about that stuff, but it's absolutely important. It's part of communicating in your marriage. So somebody says the conversations can be really fun. Yeah, I always suggest when you go out on a date night to try and have these kinds of conversations. On your date nights, work on relationship building. So this is a perfect time to start talking with your spouse about what are the things that I do that you see as flirting, or what would you like to see more in our marriage, or just using your date night times as a way to invest in your relationship. And talking about all of these things is so helpful. So one of the ways you can flirt with your spouse is by randomly touching them in some way, in a way that they're going to respond nicely, like kindly to. You know, if you haven't had those conversations ahead of time, before you go pinching their butt or grabbing their butt, I mean, you know, let them know, hey, I'm flirting with you. So smack on the butt, a little pinch on the butt, that is definitely a way to flirt with your spouse. You know, you might want to be careful about where you're doing that if you're out in public, if that doesn't matter to you. I don't think it ever matters to me. I just kind of do whatever. I do it around my kids too, but I saw my parents do that a lot, so okay, it was okay with them. It was okay with me to do that. You can grab their arm, you can hold their hand, you can put your hand on their shoulder, you can touch their back, you know, you can touch them in some way. And not, like, physical touch is so important anyway. Another thing you can do is you can send them a text. And I know we're like in the text-based, you know, thing. I'm not saying that you need to text your spouse all the time. Sometimes having conversations about flirting can be a way of flirting. Yeah, it totally can, because, you know, you're going to be kind of doing those things you're talking about. So as far as sending texts, I mean, it needs to be something out of the ordinary. If you and your spouse text the entire day, then it does need to be something a little bit out of the ordinary. I like, and I didn't do this, I like this idea of creating a little sign and taking a picture of yourself with it. Okay, I just picked this up off my dresser. I don't even know why it's there. It just says, I melt for you. I have created signs that say, I love you, I'm thinking about you, and I'm just taking a little picture with the selfie. That's a really easy way to flirt if your spouse is not with you. Another good way to flirt, hold on, I'm trying to read my notes. Oh, okay, so another good way to flirt is to kind of just stop, stare at them, smile until, you know, you catch their eye, and let them catch you staring at them and admiring them. That is going to flatter them. They know you're flirting with them. They know that they've caught your attention. And I tell you, it's really helpful, helps you with the bond with your spouse. Another thing is to wink at them from across the room, or smile at them, or blow a little kiss at them. If you guys are in the room together, whether it's at home or whether you guys are like maybe out somewhere and you happen to get on the other end of the room from them, just send them a little wink or a little blow kiss or something. Let them know that you see them. I mean, that's the whole point behind flirting anyway, is to let your spouse know that you see them. So Austin and I have this little thing we do when we are driving in the car. If he is ahead of me and I'm following him somewhere, he'll actually like turn on his blinkers to let me know that he's thinking about me, and I flash my headlights at him. I mean, this is something we've done since we were like dating. So it's just kind of like flirting is a way to say, hey, I'm here and I see you and you've caught my attention and I want to get your attention, and so that's why I'm flirting with you. And the other thing that you can do for flirting, this is going to require a lot of communication because it can definitely come off wrong. But like sexy talk in a way, like bantering back and forth a little bit, you can say things that maybe are a code word with your spouse, or you can say things in a certain way. And it doesn't have to be like something that other people would understand. So if you were around your spouse and you said, hey baby, give me the biscuits, and your spouse says, I'd like to butter your biscuits, okay, that's flirting. It's cheesy and corny, I know. So maybe it's like a pickup line. I'm not really sure what to call it. Somebody says, do you think there's a difference between flirting and foreplay? Absolutely. See, at the start of the scope, I shared that I've read some articles about flirting, and it's all these foreplay moves. And I'm like, that's not really flirting, that's foreplay. Flirting is when you are trying to get your spouse's attention,
and let them know, hey, I'm here. I'm thinking about you. I want you to think about me. I want you to see me. I think of flirting as things that happen while you're out in your house or out in public. These little interactions that happen between you and your spouse that you guys know what it means. So you walk by and pinch their butt. They know, hey, my spouse wants my attention. They want me. They like me. They care about me. And they're being fun with me. And I think foreplay is those things that you do when you are being intimate with your spouse and you are, in your room or out in your house or wherever you're being private with each other and you are getting ready to have sex. And foreplay are those things that you are doing to get each other warmed up. Flirting is a way to get warmed up with your spouse, but I think of it more as something that happens like during your day to kind of get you guys reminded we're married, we love each other, we want to have fun, and flirting is fun. It's fun to, wink at your spouse from across the room. It's fun to say something that they know what you mean and others don't. It's fun to send a little flirty text throughout the day or something like that. Somebody says, I think our flirting seamlessly blends into foreplay. Well, hey, whatever works for you in your marriage, I definitely think that is totally worth it. It's something that you need to do. So if you guys take flirting to the next level, great. I think that, if you're alone or by yourself, your flirting can totally do that. I also encourage you, though, to flirt around your kids and to flirt around other people. Obviously, you don't want that leading to foreplay, but I think flirting is a great way to show the people around you that you guys love each other, and your kids totally need that. So if you're all alone and you guys start flirting and it's like, hey, I think something else could happen here, let it evolve for sure. So those are some of my ideas on how you can flirt with your spouse. And if you have any other flirting suggestions, I'd love for you to write into me and share them with me, Keely@lovehopeadventure.com, because like I said, I find very little on blog posts that really help me in these things. So I'm like, okay, just going to have to try and really brainstorm. So if you've got some things that you like doing to flirt with your spouse, definitely feel free to share it with me and I will create a post, put all those flirty ideas in it, and we'll help each other out in that. Thanks so much for joining me today. I look forward to chatting with you guys tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful day.